Welcome back, guys. I'm Zell, and today we're looking at the WE 704. It's the knife the Fat Man said could be the best EDC of the decade. Alright, is it the best EDC of the decade? I don't know, but it's rather nice. And let's get a quick look at the four models we have on the table. And it's all going to be kind of a quick thing, guys, because I've got to get these knives out to places. But while I had all four of them here, I wanted you guys to get a chance to see the different colors. First up, we have a 704D, gold and gray with the hand-rubbed satin blade. Very, very stylish and sophisticated looking knife. Next up, we have the 704 CFJ, which is gray with the carbon fiber and a black blade. Black stonewash blade, that is. Now, something interesting. This knife weighs in at just under 2.9 ounces, and the titanium handled ones weigh in at about 3.5 ounces. So approximately 0.6 ounces separating the two of them, and this one getting down in delicate territory. All right, last one up is a 704i, gold handle with black liners and a black blade. Another very sharp, very sophisticated looking knife. I'm getting to look real quick at that black stonewash blade that WE's using. And they've even went with a black and polish on the pivot, which is quite nice. I like that a lot. So, moving back here, we have these two. And what do we really get here? Well, we're at a handle length of 4.5 inches, and a thickness of 0.59. You would never believe that that's 0.59 whenever you put it in your hand or whenever you're using it, or even in your pocket. But, well, it really is. I've checked it. The handle and scales, liners, everything except for the blade and the pivot are 6AL4V titanium. And it was, of course, designed by the WE Knife team. And we get a measurement here, and I didn't make a pause and read card, but we'll zero the calipers and run it over there real quickly. And we're getting right at an inch. That is nuts, guys. Absolutely nuts. Get it right here. I don't usually include this measurement, but on this knife, it's kind of interesting. 1.19. Height-wise, this is a very, very small knife. And that, my friends, is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Let's back the camera out here, and we'll lay out the CF model, and we'll get some size comparison done. We have our Buck 110. I want you to notice here that Buck 110 blade is about the same length. We got 3.6 inches or so here, about the same on the Buck. And we have a Delica. To pay special attention here, that Delica is 2.5 some odd ounces, and this is 2.87. Very, very close in weight. And I don't know where our rat went. He's around here somewhere. He doesn't run off like the Delica does, but here's a Spyderco Tenacious. Once again, very similar blade lengths, but we have a nice, slim, super small package here with the WE 704. And super small package. How can we put this? How can we really look at this? Well, many of us know the Tenacious. Well, look how much bigger the Tenacious is than that knife whenever you got it folded up. And that's really where it comes into play, is whenever it's in your pocket. Even our Delica, and if you're watching this channel, I'm sure you know Delicas, but look right there. That's fairly well lined up across the bottom. And we've gained a lot of blade here. And it's, it's about the same length. The 704's slightly longer down here, not by much, but a lot shorter. And it's just a very, very pocketable knife. And let's get a look at that blade, and we'll use one of the satin finished blades to do that with. We'll get a look at the black one real close here in just a minute. But we have a full flat grind. We got a forward finger choil, and our plunge grind starts probably a quarter of the way into that forward finger choil, which is a beautiful thing. Leaves the entire knife blade very nice and no problem with the edge termination. Very, very beautiful thing. If we get the other one out here, we can look at the nice edge that's been put on it. And we have the 3 little hash marks up here that line up with the jimping. And if we look real close down in there, it says M390. So that is a 3.6 inch slab of M390, and that's always a beautiful thing. And it's got a bit of Persian flair to it, but it's not kicked up seriously, so it doesn't goof up your drop point or clip point style EDC ability. And that's a beautiful thing, that they gave it that look but didn't overdo it. And there's one more comparison that I want to make because I think it's important. This is a knife that I carry a lot. It's the WE 702, and I carry it most of the time whenever I don't have some knife I'm carrying for review. And it's also a knife that I've been putting through some abuse because I want to do a review on this knife and do things to it that most people are never going to do. I want to actually use it. But here is the interesting thing. There's our CF model of the 704. And there's our titanium model. This knife weighs over 5 ounces. It does have about 2/10 more blade, and it's definitely built heavier, there's no doubt, because of it being integral and the way that the knife is built. But if I were to back up and be looking at purchasing one of these two knives, I would want to get my hands on both of these and get them in my pocket and check out how they feel in the hand and how they feel in the pocket, because I know they're different, but they're similar designs and they have a similar profile, especially when they're closed and they're down in that pocket, and that makes a lot of difference. The weight here or here and the way it carries in the pocket, if you are sensitive to weight or sensitive to size in the pocket, the 704 is one you want to check out because it's a 3.6 inch blade knife and it's every bit of it. However, it doesn't feel that way. It feels so much smaller. It feels delicate sized. It feels, I don't know, it's hard to quantify. I've been calling it a small knife. Obviously it's not, but I've been calling it a small knife ever since the first one showed up here. Alright, so I keep talking about in the pocket, so let's get one of these in the Levi's real quick. And here we go. You know, and there's what I'm talking about in the pocket. It's not terribly long. It sits in there nicely. And lanyard, little space there is left above the pocket. And we'll back out a little bit. It's not terribly deep into your pocket as far as this goes. It does have enough clip, and this clip will work with just about any style of pants without any issue. Thicker pants, no problem. Your 511s, your Centos, your Dickies, whatever. It seems to have enough spring and enough space underneath that clip to work just about anywhere, and that is a beautiful thing. Be nicer if we had a left or right hand version, but you know, got to take what we can get. And it's just nice knife. Mechanically, you know, we're running on ball bearings, of course. We got ceramic ball bearings, ceramic detent. Same thing that they always do with these knives or all the WE knives. The interesting thing here is we're running a set of flat slab pieces of titanium to run that lock system. But we still have, I don't know if you can see it down in there or not, but we still have a lock bar insert, a steel lock bar insert, to make this knife lock up the way it should and not have any lock stick. And this is probably the one with the tightest action And that's fresh out the box, guys, but it's still great. This is one that has seen the rounds a little bit. And you see, whew, just beautiful. All right, guys, ergonomics. Now, whenever you get this guy flipped open and you put your hand around it, everything is very good. You can get it in any grip. The pocket clip isn't a problem. It doesn't have a hot spot in it. The only issues that I can see is this could have been softened just a little bit more, but we see that in lots of knives, and it seems to be an industry-wide problem. They want that little point there to make it look cool, and, you know, honestly, it's not a big deal unless you start to try to choke up with your hand behind the flipper. Then you can feel, for me anyhow, I feel that little point right there. Is it awful? No, I could cut most of the day with this thing with no problem. I just have to be conscious how I was putting my hand on the knife, and, you know, after a few days, I'd get the hang of it. Now, the forward finger choil is the way that this thing is comfortable, and it's very comfortable. Now, problem here, though, is, you know, you have to make that balance between finger choil size, blade or edge length, and all of that whenever you're designing the knife. And they've done a good job for my medium-large hands, but I'm getting pretty close to that edge. You know, am I going to use it like this? You bet. But if you have bigger hands than mine, that is going to get, it could get dangerous. So be aware of that. If you got smaller hands than mine, you'll be absolutely fine. And get a look at that black stonewashed finish on that blade. It's very nice. I like how WE does this. I'm not sure what their finish is. I guess I should email somebody and ask. And the finish on this blade is, of course, their hand-rubbed satin, which is just unfreaking believable. Doesn't even look like a hand-rubbed satin like we would normally see. But I know that their guys over there are hand-rubbing these things, and it is just absolutely beautiful. So, in conclusion about the WE 704, for me, the WE 704, I think I've said this before, is one of those knives that I want to have around. Now, for me, is it going to be a carry it every day knife? Well, no, because I do some things with my knives where the extra heft of the 702 or some of the other knives I have are needed, or I feel that they're needed. But if I am doing anything else or just goofing around the house and that sort of thing, you betcha I would so much rather carry one of these than some of my heavier knives. And this is one of those knives that if you wear gym shorts, lounge pants, those sorts of things, this is getting down there in that delicate territory where you can have a really, really, really nice knife and not have your pants hanging down. If you're just using a waistband, or the elastic waistband, it's not going to have enough weight in it, especially the CF model, to, you know, make your pants ride low. So that is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful knife. We'll close this out here by getting them all open for you. And there they are, guys. The WE 704. It is an absolute winner. Is it the best EDC of the decade? Well, I'm not going to go that far. You know, the fat man might, but I'm not going to. There are lots and lots of good knives out there by a lot of different companies. Is this in contention for the year? You bet. For 2017, this is one of the few knives that has come across my desk that packs everything that I would want in one knife and gets that knife under 3 ounces, and that is just amazing. Anyhow, guys, we'll get a closer look at these knives sometime in the near future. For now, they've all got places to go, but they'll make their way back here at some point. And you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.